So glad he's back with us, Gregory Harrison. He's also back starring in Signed, Sealed, Delivered. Truth Be Told, it is premiering this Sunday night at 9 on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. It's our other network. So you're back. This is the latest installment of this. How are you stirring the pot?
Well, for those who have been following the show, you know, it was a 1-hour series for a couple of seasons, and now it's a series of movies.
Yeah.
2-hour movies that are done several times a year. Oliver, the lead guy in the show, he has some kind of a problem with his father that we've never met, and I'm the dad, and I show up and stir the pot that way. There's, I don't want to, you know, spoiler alert. I don't want to mess up the story for people, but I bring a lot of information that he finds very disturbing, puts him into an emotional spiral. And there, at some point, we really get antagonistic. He gets antagonistic, particularly, towards me, and I have to try and straighten him out.
Well, let's see what happens in this clip, because at this point, this is where you talk to him about his inheritance that he's about to see. Take a look.
We haven't spoken in 15 years. Suddenly, you show up when there's money involved?
We haven't spoken because you wouldn't see me. That's more than 15 years of letters that I wrote to you. All of them marked return to sender. I finally got the message, so I backed off. But I always figured that someday you would need me, and today is the day, and that's why I'm here.
I find that hard to believe.
I don't care about Harvey Schmitz's money. I think it's the least he could have done for you. And believe me, I'm happy for you, Oliver. I know what it takes to get by on a postal worker's salary.
At least I stayed at the post office,
But accepting Harvey's money means finding out the truth, and I came to tell it to you.
Why?
Because you're my son.
I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
Are you a pot stirrer by nature?
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Okay.
I've always been a pot stirrer.
You know, I don't know if it was me, but I really sensed a real connection for you in that role. Is it personal?
It does. Well, you know, any role I try to personalize and find things that parallel it or mirror it in my own life. But in this particular one, it was really easy. I had a very interesting, circuitous kind of relationship with my own father, who passed away 20-something years ago. But we had a really contentious childhood. There he is, Captain Eddie Harrison. Really contentious childhood. We didn't get along very well. And when I was 17 years old, I was such a obnoxious son that my mother, they were divorced. My mother threw me out, and I was supporting myself for the last year or two of high school in Catalina Island, back in the 60s when you could do that and your parents wouldn't get arrested for it. And my father was an old dog who decided to learn some new tricks, and he humbled himself and asked if he could live with me for my last year of high school. Moved into an apartment with me and became my very best friend for the rest of my life. And it was like he totally reinvented our relationship, and I give him all the credit for it.
When he moved in with you, was it by your rules when he moved in, or by his?
Yeah. I said, you know, I was furious with him and with the whole family, you know, the broken home kind of thing. And I said, I need a roommate. I do not need a father. So he's, all right, fine. I'll just be your roommate. And he moved in, and of course he was my father, and became my very best friend for the rest of my life.
So then you were balancing like that father role and best friend at the same time. Was that easy or hard to do?
Well, with my dad, no, it wasn't hard. He really changed, and what he did was he taught me that you can continue to grow and change and adapt to the day you die, and it's something that he was able to do that, and. So
have you taught that to your
He taught it to me,
for you
and
to
I'm
your
passing
father,
it to my kids.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like, you know, I still in my life, at my age, I feel like my best days may well be ahead of me. I may learn something that'll finally clear it all up tomorrow. I mean, I'm very hopeful. I'm not cynical. I'm not, because of my dad's ability to do that for me.
Well, what an example he gave you. Has a lot of that played into, because I talked about your 35-year marriage, that ability to adapt, to forgive, to accept change, to be willing to change, to break old habits?
Yes.
Is that played into the keys of keeping
Having a
marriage?
35-year-long marriage? Yeah, I mean, in many ways it does, of course, but the real secret for Randy and I
Yes. What's the real secret?
respect.
Okay.
That we respected each other. And we had the same value system, so that even when we totally disagreed, even when we couldn't stand to be near each other, we treated each other with enough respect to be able to walk away and allow the other person to walk away until we could come back together constructively. We never said anything that couldn't be taken back.
Yeah.
You know how you can say
in
the fit of anger something that resonates for years down the road?
It's all about that R-E-S-P-E-C-T, Kenny.
Yeah, no
is.
question.
Are you guys?
I
wait,
don't have the same fire, Jamaican fire that my wife has. So
that's a spice.
The
those
spiciness.
words,
That's
those
spice.
words that need to be taken back.
Who's the first one to apologize? Do you?
Oh, I am easily.
Are you?
Oh, without question. There's things today that she still hasn't apologized for. That she knows.
I just made up for it in other ways. It's okay.
All right, this right today. Driving here. Oh, you should have made a lot.
Oh, yeah, I drive.
Yeah,
I drive.
whatever.
Well, we found out how you guys met yesterday.
Right.
How did you meet your wife?
In a way that probably the odds against it ever becoming an actual successful relationship were very great. We met on the Battle of the Network Stars in 1980.
One of my favorite shows, man.
Good.
That was
wow. It's the first
they used to
reality
have-
show.
Yeah, because they'd have the network stars, and then they started doing with the sports guys and
Right.
started coming on as
Right.
well. No question.
Howard Cosell was the host.
Selleck and you. Wow.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah.
That's a
And,
hot
Tom
picture.
Selleck? Wow.
Well, you could say that.
Yeah, I married her, not him. But
They're both hot pictures, okay?
But wait, you met on the show? But
we
how?
met on the show. Actually, Randy was on NBC because she was on Chips, and I was on Trapper John, and they only had 3 networks, so we had 3 teams, and there was all these silly events, and one of them was put a person over a water tank and throw at a target and knock him into the water.
Sure.
We were all outfitted in spandex, and I really wanted to see her wet in spandex. So
Whoa.
Hallmark Channel, sorry.
That's signed, sealed, delivered right there.
There it is.
Okay.
I knocked her in 3 out of 3.
Wow.
And then I went up and picked her up and carried her out of the tank and put her down. It was the first time I'd ever met her. And then she picked me to be over the tank. She knocked me in, and she carried me out.
I like it. My kind of girl.
That's right. A month later, we were dating, and the rest is history.